Stacy Stone has 3 children with Chris Martin. She's known him for 30 years. Arguably, nobody knows him better. This is her take on the man accused of a fiendish triple murder. Stacy Stone and Chris Martin got married young. They had 3 kids. Their divorce, like nearly all divorces, was an unhappy one. Nevertheless, Stacy would bet her life Chris Martin is not a killer. It's just not in his DNA.
But he was always, black was black and white was white, and there was no gray area with him. It was either right or it was wrong. And, you know, he was very dedicated, loyal, faithful. He cared about his country and about his family. Those were the top things in his life. And, you know, he just took care of people. He just took care of people.
In November of 2015, 3 people are murdered in Pembroke, Kentucky. Calvin Phillips, his wife Pam Phillips, and a neighbor, Ed Dansereau. Calvin is found shot in his home. Wife and neighbor found burned up in a car a few miles away. No one is arrested. Meanwhile, Martin is being court-martialed after his estranged wife, Joan Harmon Guerra, accuses him of sexually abusing her children. The sex abuse charges are dismissed. Martin is found guilty of 2 simple assaults and 2 counts of mishandling classified documents. Misdemeanors, but still, they cost him his retirement. An Eagle Scout, a decorated Apache helicopter pilot, a trusted pilot with American Airlines. It was a golden life until he married Joan Harmon Guerra, if you can even call it a marriage. Guerra pleaded guilty to felony bigamy during all of this upheaval. But even that did not change anything.
And we've got this man who's got a spotless record, never even a speeding ticket, okay? And then we've got this woman that's a convicted bigamist who did nothing but lie, not just to Chris and to everybody in the family, but she took military benefits for 8 years. 8 years, and her children received military benefits for 8 years. It's not their fault. But nothing was done about that. I don't understand.
Things get trickier. Nearly 4 years later, without any new evidence, authorities arrest Kit Martin for the murders. The motive? Never offered. But the guess is prosecutors believe murder victim Calvin Phillips was going to testify against Kit Martin at his court-martial, and that Pam Phillips and neighbor Ed Dansereau were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But that motive has been challenged. A private eye working for Martin says he interviewed Calvin Phillips just 2 weeks before his murder, and that Phillips was going to testify against Joan Harmon Guerra, and that Joan Harmon Guerra is the one who would benefit most by his silence. Here's an excerpt of the letter, quote, "Phillips was murdered to prevent his testimony. His testimony would have exposed Joan Harmon Guerra's fabrications and would have invalidated her deferment on a recent felony conviction, sending her straight to prison. His testimony had the potential to invalidate all charges Major Martin is facing." Of course, Stacy Stone doesn't know who killed those 3 unfortunate souls. She just knows who didn't, Chris Martin.
He's just not capable of that. And the really sad thing is, somewhere out there, there is a murderer or murders, him or her or they or whoever it may be. They're out there running free while this innocent man is locked up for no good reason.
What is the evidence strong enough to hold Major Martin for murder? The next hearing is scheduled April 15th. Will we finally learn if there is anything of substance? I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.